Hello everybody, my name is Kenneth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be checking out the song Stay by Beast. This was a request that was given to me by best_ydj. I think you changed your name because I'm pretty sure, unless I was misreading it all this time, it was Beast YDJ, but that's not important. Full disclosure, I tried to record this a few days ago and I wasn't in the best mind space. I had a little bit of an autistic shutdown, so I didn't end up recording this, but I have therefore heard the first 30 seconds or so, a little bit more maybe, of the song. That being said, I still wanted to try and react to this for you guys. We're going to be doing the original version, so a lyric version, and also the highlight live version, which is obviously newer. I wanted to do both the lyric video and the highlight live because of lyrics. I want to be able to follow along with that, because I am reacting to the original OT6 version as well as the OT4 version. Obviously the former members that are no longer there will be here. The way I deal with them, and I know that they start the song, but the way I deal with them is I'll appreciate their additions to the song, but in no way do I endorse especially one of them outside of that. So I hope that's okay with you guys. I hope you understand. But without any further ado, we are going to check out Stay. So please stay. I'm not funny, it's fine. Yeah, so my first thoughts about this, by the way, this intro, it gave me a little bit of Shadow vibes as well, I think. Also, when I first heard, obviously, these first 30 seconds, I love the synth in the background here. And that glitch. Talking here, lyrics, I feel like we've all had that person that, whether a best friend or a relationship, who, you know, they make you smile, they make you laugh, they make you cry sometimes, whether for good or bad reasons, but you miss them when they're gone. What was I gonna say? I think it's so sad. I'm focusing on this lyric here, about feeling like you're getting farther away, because I feel like, especially when a friendship is long, but obviously it can happen at any moment, that time when you realize that you're going away, or in a relationship the same, it can like make you question a lot of things about your identity and stuff, because you might you might be drifting apart because like your interests are changing, or like you're again in a relationship context, you're falling out of love with the person, but it can make you like reevaluate yourself. So it's interesting, this beginning part, just talking about how they're feeling about that. So just for full disclosure, obviously everything up until this part, where Geekwang starts, I haven't heard Geekwang's part, but like that's where I got to. So we're about 41 seconds in, a little bit more. Everything from that point on, from when he starts, I haven't heard, just full disclosure. And I shut down because like I gave my little disclaimer when I was trying to record this before. And then the way that this was basically the Hyunsung and Junhyung show, throughout the entire like beginning part, I fully had what's called an autistic shutdown. My brain just wouldn't process anything. I couldn't speak, and I got really upset. I'll be really honest, because I couldn't push past it. So, and I really did try. I took breaks and I tried to come back to it. I don't think I gave myself enough time, so that's why I'm here now. But yeah, so I just wanna, yeah, let you guys know about that. I love that movement from Ki Kwang into to June. Also, can we talk about the fact that in this he's romanized as Do June? Romanization drives me nuts. It's the way like it's run, because like to me, if I didn't know how to pronounce Do Jun's name, I would literally write it. I would literally read it as Dujun, which it would be completely wrong. Because the double O makes sense to me. You guys probably don't care about that, but I do. um, I really like the way that we've taken like ordinary things, but they're really like sad. So like Nights Without You Get Drenched by Me. So like everything has a damper on it. Everything is cold and wet and depressing and gray and oh, did I just put my foot in a puddle? You know, all that kind of like, ugh, those really icky feelings. And then immediately following that up with dried lips. Obviously, dry lips are painful, but also not only that, it's ironic because if you kiss someone for a long period of time, I'm talking about this like in one go here, but it obviously has wider implications there. But if you kiss someone for a long time, your lips can get dry, just for obvious reasons. And so I find that a little bit ironic there, that like this person that they're singing about, they probably maybe kissed a lot, you know, because romantic relationship, but now that because the kissing has stopped, it's like the consequences, my lips are dried and I'm now calling out for you because you're no longer there. Or you could look at it as like the wetting of the lips, which makes me feel icky. I don't like that. Oh no, that texture makes me feel weird. But you get what I mean, like with that. I loved Do Jun's vocals here. Yeah. I like that. That's a little bit toxic, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm saying this with like, I'm like smiling because I'm not being like super like serious, like, oh my god, this is like, there's an element, and I don't know if they meant it that way, but like there's an element of like, don't move on there. Like even if you meet someone else, even if I'm not your love anymore, you know, there's you know, so I can feel you a little bit, stay by my side. It's a little bit like there's a little bit of a dependence there. Obviously you can also look at it, I'm just clearly a negative Nancy here. Because you can also look at it obviously as being like a yearning for a relationship beyond the romantic. You know, you could be like, well, can we be friends? But obviously I feel like in those situations it never goes well. You either end up never talking to each other again, or you just keep going into this cycle of like maybe like one night stands, like hookup kind of culture, a little bit. Yo, Sop, you sound great. I also just want to clarify again, I don't want anyone to misconstrue me. I'm enjoying the song. I don't want to be like, oh my god, I don't want anyone to be like, oh my god, he's being rude about the song. That's not my intention at all. I just was giving you my thoughts there. Sorry, there's something about the contrast there between Yosop's vocal and Donghoon's vocal that I really like there. But also with Donghoon's vocal there, you've got that in the background, that do 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 little motif. And it's almost like his vocal is bouncing off of it. Like in my mind, I'm just imagining like, do you remember those like old school visualizers and volume things where you'd see them kind of go like this, like the different like bars, like a bar graph. It's almost like I'm seeing like his vocals bouncing off of like a texture like that in my mind, which is interesting. I love that riff. Sorry. Okay, there is definitely a very toxic, it's at the very least angry vibe to this song, at least in those verses. Meet other guys and see how good I was to you. Like that. I feel like I don't know if that the nuance of that is translated well. It might not be as harsh as that in like the original, in terms of like the nuance of the mood. But like if I heard someone say that to me, I wouldn't have a lot of confidence in that relationship. Personally, that's just my opinion. I'm scared about this next lyric because just like embracing thorns, like yeah, this is very bitter, which in the chorus you've got like these lyrics that are talking like that you could, if you try, you can say like what I said, like, ooh, like keep a relationship as friends, you know, even with the baby, not really, but you could still like crowbar into that. But here, these lyrics are literally just like, they're almost kind of aggressive. Like they're on that borderline of like aggressiveness, where it's like there's an entitlement to them. And I don't know if just because of who is singing, if I'm jaded against them for that reason, but there's something about it that just doesn't sit right with me. I love how the song sounds, and I'm not gonna lie. If I could feign ignorance over what the lyrics were saying, like if I didn't recognize some Korean words, if I didn't have the lyrics like telling me what was being said, I'd be like, yeah, this is a really good song, and it is like in terms of music how it sounds. But there's just something in it that's like getting to me a little bit, about like just the tone and the delivery. Yeah, and the lyric there about like it just being a break and it not being over. There's just an entitlement to that doesn't sit right with me. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not ruining anyone's enjoyment of the song, because you are entitled to like the song, and like I said, I like how it sounds. But yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts as yeah. Like there, if you contrast Ki Kwang and Doojun, that right there's a completely different vibe to it. Yes, there's this like wallowing in sadness, which is acceptable, you know, it's understandable. But it's not giving me the same vibes as especially hit Chunhyung's parts. Chunhyung's parts. And I don't know if it's just because it's him that it's not sitting right with me. And it could well be, you know, you guys might listen to it and be like, well, before it happened, you know, I'm not laughing when I do that. That's me just omitting something, by the way. But when that happened, before that happened, you know, like we didn't, you know, but like I'm viewing that in the context of knowing about that incident and what went on there. And I'm like, and so, yeah, like, but again, even the delivery, it's completely different. And yeah, it just changes how I feel a little bit. Um, I love that rhythm. I love the ha 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 in the background as well. I don't know, it just adds something. Oh, love it. I noticed it, I think, during Yosop's part, but I love it. That riff. Even there with Hyunsung, even his part, at least this part, forgive me, my processing has not gone back to the other parts, but even this part, his part, Doojun's part, Yosop, Kikwang, and Dongun's part, all have this tone of someone who just doesn't want to let go, but is happy for them to move on. Whereas with Junhyung's part, it's there really is a feeling, like a darkness to it. You know, even like the metaphor of thorns. It's kind of a macabre, dark. In my head, I see, like, if you guys have seen the Disney Sleeping Beauty, I literally think of those type of thorns, like huge and like all encompassing, not like just like a couple of thorns on a single plant or something. And so it's interesting to me hearing that disconnect. I guess I'm really curious to hear how this is going to sound as an OT4. Based on how obviously we've still got some of this song to go, and I'm sorry, I know I'm yapping, but based on this, I feel like it's going to be hopefully tonally different. There's nothing wrong with dark concepts, obviously, and stuff like that, but it's where that borderline is between just dark and getting into that toxic realm, and it's Junhyung's parts for me that are like creeping into that a little bit. So I'm hoping that, like, if there is still that dark yearning kind of vibe, it's still going to be there, but it's not going to cross over, if that makes sense. You probably can't even see. I'm like creating like a boundary like there. But yeah. I love that. Dun, 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 dun. I love that synth. I love that we've changed up the chorus composition here with the parts. It's so interesting how, like, changing who does what and having Dongun start and then go to Doojun rather than Yosop to Dongun. And obviously we've come back to Dongun, but having that like completely changes it for me. And I love that. I love that this feels. Obviously, I've been a lot. I hope you forgive me for like how critical I might have been in this video so far, but I love the OT4 parts. I even love some of Hyunsung's parts a little bit. Again, the stuff that my brain is still processing that I can still remember. So I'm looking forward to seeing this as an OT4. um, version. But yeah, it's interesting how just swapping a member and then putting a different member in changes the section completely. Yeah. Ow, my eye. Sorry, I love the background vocals. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, just before we move on to the live version, given my comments, you might be like, "Oh my god, he probably hates the song." I don't hate the song musically. I think it has a really great sound. I think it has a really signature Beast sounds, so that I'm becoming used to. I feel like even like the difference between Beast and Highlight, there's a difference there sonically, and from that perspective, I really like it. My biggest gripes, and it's going to be interesting if that still exists in the Highlight Live version, is whether how they approach those Junhyung parts. Because for me, again, if I didn't have the lyrics on screen, if I had the ignorance of not knowing every word in Korean, I would be able to be like, I'd be able to look past it because I'd just be like, well, this is, stay by my, I'd just be able to do that. I'd just be able to vibe along. But because I'm seeing the lyrics, it's kind of holding me in a place, and it's not making me it's not making me comfortable, a little bit there. But we are going to move on to the Highlight Live version. As I said, I wanted to do a lyric video so that I could have at least some kind of grounding where lyrics are concerned, because there's no captions on this. So yeah. But let's get into the Highlight version, the Highlight Live version as well. So yeah. By the way, I'm not putting this on screen because it is just the album. It's just the album artwork, so I'm not going to put that on screen for you guys. I hope that's okay. But yeah, let's go. That crowd. I love that you could hear even his little cries there. Did they replace because I think in the original version, or it might just be how it was mixed, I thought in the original version that do 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 do, that little riff there, little motif, I thought that was a synth, but that sound, you can almost, I think you can hear like the picking. Is that a guitar or a bass? Maybe? Interesting. I love how they sound so far. Yeah, I'm already, as a song, it's already sitting better for me, and I don't know if it's just the reassurance of not having to worry about the former members' parts. Again, specifically Junhyung especially. Is that Jujun? Ooh. Ooh, the lightness of ta 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 ta. Oh, that was nice. Ooh. That was a... that's Ki Kwang, right? I'm 90% sure that's Ki Kwang. I feel like when he's in the studio, the way that his voice is mixed can sometimes remove some of the nuances of his voice. I love hearing like his voice live because there's all these little frequencies and stuff. I don't know what the word would be, but like frequencies and stuff that just like I really like listening to them. And so hearing them live, you actually get to hear them. Because again, the way that it's mixed, I feel like they get cut off or like certainly reduced. Yeah. Ooh, that little stay. Oh, the little, I can't do the break because that's, for me, that's still in my range. But like, ah, that little, it was like a cry. It was like a cry combined with a break, but like an intentional break. And I'm treating them as two separate things because like I feel like a break is like when it's not intentional. It's like when you're trying to hit a note that's not necessarily in your voice properly, or that isn't stable in your voice. Whereas a cry is intentional, but it sounds to me it sounds like a little bit different than a break, but it sounds like both there for me. I like that. I love those parts in the background. I just realized as well the little. I'm thinking that they're doing like a ha ha. They're not doing a ha ha at all. They're literally doing stay by my side in the background. That took me way too long to process that. I'm so sorry. that riff, sad. Oh, it's. I'm gushing. I love that riff. To do that live, because like agility is very difficult. Like if you don't sing, you might like think it's just like, oh, it's just easy. But like the pressure of a live situation where like anything can go wrong, anything can happen. What I was talking about earlier about breaks, the same thing can happen with riffs. You can easily go for that riff and then be like, so, something like that happens to your voice. And then it's like, well, now it sounds, that's not how it's supposed to sound, but he did it great. Oh, so good. Oh, I noticed that I think in the original, but just, yeah, that's much more of a guitar texture, that dun 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 in the background. Yeah, that's definitely a guitar, I think. Oh, I love the way did it do that in the original? The way the music came out for like such a small second and then came back. I didn't notice it if it did. I love that. Oh, sad. The way there was like so much weight in his voice there. I don't know. That just really. it's ironic. There's such a strength in that, like when, like the song, and I'm choosing to focus on the less toxic sounding parts of the original. Um, Again, I spoke about that. But like, it's ironic there that there's strength in the voice there when like the lyrics are like, "Please stay with me, please stay around, you know, stay near me, stay close." It's very ironic there. Oh, I love it. It's even, sorry, I know I'm pausing. I'm obsessed with how he sounds right now. It's the way for me, like it's almost like you could hear him like walk forward, like not physically, like tap tap tap, but like in his, it's like a postural thing. It's like you can almost hear him like move, if that makes sense. Like again, it's not the physical moving of sounding, but there's the way his voice sounds. It's like he's like moving forward towards that. Ah, that drum. Ooh. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting the flow of it. The way that like just before that there was like a really soft falsetto, as like that drums going up into this chorus, and then it's that very soft sound is replaced by that Yosop ad lib there. I don't know. There's something really. I don't want to be like cheesy and be like inspiring, but there's something so inspiring like that change up there. I don't know, but that's the only word I can think of. It doesn't make sense, right? But like there's this like empowering maybe moment there, like where I don't know. It's hard because of the song, but like it feels like the guys, because it's been a long time since the original, because the guys have moved on vocally and they've moved on musically and sonically and stuff. It's almost like that's what I'm hearing in that, I think, and that's why I'm like using words like inspirational and empowering and stuff. Because when you think about like the song and stuff, they're the person that like the character of this person is like is trapped in this cycle of like being in love with this person when this person's moved on, or is moving on and stuff. Um, and so it's interesting here them singing as singing the lyrics as they are, but they've moved on in their lives. Like obviously the group have moved on in their lives, and you can hear that movement, and it's so interesting. I don't know if you guys even notice that or if you care about that, but that's something interesting to me. Oh, oh, the use of the I'm assuming it's like the audio system at the event, to give you that like affected vocal of the stay by my, that, so it's not, the presence isn't fully there, and it's a little bit like almost like someone's like behind you, like by, or like from a distance from you. And then but then you've still got that live instrumentation of that piano there and stuff, and the drums. Ooh, that guitar. Should no. The way it fades in, like I thought it came in earlier, just because of the sound. But the way it fades into that, I can't do the sound. Obviously, I'm not a guitar, but you get me. Oh wow, that was really good. I really like that. Um, yeah, I really like that a lot. I want to contextualize some of my thoughts really quickly. Um, obviously, I had some issues with especially Jun Young's parts. I'm actually going to look up really quickly as I'm talking to you about this, um, because I want to see something really quickly. Not that. Whoops. Obviously, this song I think came out in. I don't want the Kid Leroy. I want. Oh my god. Hello. Okay, so there's no. I guess there's no. I guess there's no. Ah. I guess because it's a B side, there's not going to be any. I guess there's not going to be a thing. Okay, never mind. So what I was going to say, I was wanting to look at the lyrics, not lyrics, the Wikipedia page, if there was one. I wanted to see who wrote it because there is a lot of, again, mainly Jun Young's parts there that give me like very toxic young youthful mindset of like how relationships are, especially when they end. Because that's the context I think that I need to bring to this. Because I don't want to just sound like I'm crapping on the song. Because the song is musically great, and it sounds musically great. Um, but obviously, when you look at again specifically his parts, um, there's something there that, given what we know about him, I hate to say it makes sense, but it makes sense. I love, not to dwell on that too much because I've talked about it at length. I love the highlight version. I love the live version. I'm going to call it both because both is true. Not just because you get to hear the crowd and you can get to hear how like much they love the song, but just hearing their take on it differently. I love it. Like I said in that part of the reaction, I love that you can hear the growth in their voices, and how their voices have matured because voices like 10 years ago, voices aren't going to be the same as they are now. Our voices, especially male voices, but equally female voices, as you get older, and they're not as young as they were 10 years ago, but as you get older, your voice does change. And I think what I love about, like, again, live versions is the fact that you've got all these beautiful frequencies that, because of how the methodology of a studio recording is, you kind of go, oh, we'll cut this frequency out because it sounds a little bit imperfect, or oh, it sounds like, but when you hear those frequencies live, they don't sound bad. Those imperfections don't sound bad. They don't sound like something you want to get rid of. And you're like for instance, when I was talking about Kikwang, but equally to Yosop, I think in the beginning, like the I think during the intro, I think is where my brain is going, but they both have things to their tone that I think are either reduced or subdued in like the studio versions of songs, but like the still sounds so good and still sounds so worth hearing in that live setting. And so I really appreciate that. With live versions, we get to hear it. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I hope if you guys get to this point, many of you may have already clicked off and maybe like, oh god, he's just criticizing the song. I did like the song. I liked how the song sounded. yeah. But I hope you understand where I'm coming from with a lot of my thoughts that I have shared. um, so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone. Bye.